There's no such thing as sight reading, and scale sheets are horrible if your goal is music literacy. If you want to guarantee that you never learn how to read, write, or improvise music at a high level, use a scale sheet. That'll pretty much do it. Here's one. A scale sheet's a cheat sheet. If your math teacher gave you the answers to the math test instead of teaching you how to work the math problem, well, you might get an A on your math test, but that does not mean that you know how to do math. That just means that you repeated the answers that were provided for you. Practicing with the scale sheets like that too. If your music teacher gives you a scale sheet, you might make an A on your scale test, but that does not mean that you know your scales. That does not mean that you've learned how to read music. You've just repeated the answers that were provided for you. Using a scale sheet to practice, you are practicing completely rote short-term memory. Evidence of this is every time there's a scale test or any kind of audition requiring scales and band, all the kids have to run and get their scale sheets back out again because they didn't learn their scales the first 15 times they had the scale test. By using the scale sheet, you're sending a signal to your brain. There's no reason to learn this information. I don't have to remember this. I can just get this paper back out again. Practicing with the scale sheet is completely mindless muscle memory, mindless technique. And muscle memory is a rhythmic memory. Well, the rhythm is the only thing about the scale that you don't need to learn in advance, because the rhythm is going to be different every time you see the scale in music. There's 3 things that you need to learn when you learn a scale. What does it look like? How do you spell it? And what does it sound like? Using a scale sheet doesn't teach you any of those things. Using a scale sheet teaches you that, hey, I don't have to remember what this looks like because I got it written right here. And there's no reason to remember what the notes are because those are there too. And when I'm focusing on the fingerings, I'm not really paying attention to the melody very much. And so if you learn your G scale by using a scale sheet, well then when you encounter the G scale in music, you're not going to recognize it because you don't know what it looks like. And if you don't recognize it, you're not going to have any idea what the notes are going to be in advance. So you're stuck reading one note at a time. And because you don't know it's a G scale, you have no idea what the melody is going to be. And the only thing you did learn about the G scale was the finger rhythm, and the finger rhythm you learned was wrong. You've actually learned every song ever written in the key of G in the wrong rhythm. Using a scale sheet actually makes you worse. My name is Mark Dooley. I've been a private music teacher for 36 years, focused on practical theory and music literacy. If you want to hear more, follow me. If you'd like lessons, contact me. And if you can learn how to read words, you can learn how to read music.